Hello guys, today we are shifting gears just slightly and talking about 2.7, which is multi-step inequalities. We're going to kind of add where we have to talk about interval notation. It's just a certain way to write the answer, okay? Interval notation is just another way of expressing the answer to an inequality. It uses parentheses and brackets to show where the graph starts and ends. Okay, so for parentheses, that's when it's not included. It's not included or it's an open circle, okay? You use when the graph starts or ends on an open circle. Brackets mean it's included. That means it's a closed. Use when the graph starts or ends on a closed circle or filled in circle, okay? Always use parentheses with infinity or negative infinity, which is all the negative numbers. So infinity is all numbers, or it's kind of the positive side. Negative infinity is the negative numbers, just the negative numbers. Infinity is all numbers. All right. Well, it could be just for positive. So we'll look at this. Okay. Oh, this is positive. We'll stick with positive because you'll understand why as we go through. All right. So let's look at number one. So we're going to solve through. We're going to solve it, graph it, and write the interval notation. So first one's first. Just like we do an equation, we have our equation wall. We've got to get rid of the 4. I don't distribute because I want to get to the x. So I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. So I'm going to get x plus 3 is greater than negative 6. I can also distribute and end up with 4x plus 12 is greater than negative 24. You can work it either way. Next step, I subtract 3 here, subtract 3, and we end up with x is greater than negative 9. Or here I subtract 12, and I have 4x is greater than negative 36. Divide by 4, x equals, not x equals, x is greater than negative 9. Notice both of them ended up with the same answer. Okay, this is where we get to kind of the new part. We've got to label our information. The middle is going to be the number that we're looking for. Okay, so we have negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6. Because it does not have the equal to bar, it's just an open circle. It is greater than, so I shade to the right. For interval notation, because it is not equal to, it's a parentheses where it starts, because it's an open circle, negative 9. Now, it never stops going this way, so therefore I do a comma and then infinity because it keeps going. And then because it's infinity, it's a parentheses. So, next example, we'll work a couple of them because this interval notation is what's kind of new. Here we go. So the next one, we're just solving the inequality just like you do an equation. Now, with this, I have to distribute first because there's this x outside here. Remember, that's a negative 3. So I'm distributing the negative 3. So I have x minus 3x minus 6 is greater than 4. Combine my like terms, and I end up with a negative 2x minus 6 is greater than 4. Add 6, and I have negative 2x is greater than 10. Now here's where we've got to remember. If divide or multiply by negative number on both sides, flip inequality symbol. I'm dividing by a -2 on both sides. So I've got to flip it. So we end up with x is less than -5. All right, so for graphing this, that means the -5 is going to be in the middle. It's an open circle. It's less than, so I'm shading in this direction. So that means it's all of the negative infinity. So I'm going to do parentheses, negative infinity, comma, where does it start? -5. It's an open circle, so it's a parentheses. Next example. Number 3. Again, distribute first. That's a -2 that I'm distributing. So I'm going to now have 7x minus 2x plus, because that's a -4. -2 times -4 plus 8 is less than or equal to -2. Combine my like terms, and I have 5x plus 8 is less than or equal to -2. Subtract 8, subtract 8. 5x is less than or equal to -10. Divide by a +5. I'm dividing by a +5 on both sides. So I leave the inequality symbol alone. This cancels, that equals 0. So I end up with x is less than or equal to -2. So I start at -2 in the middle. I have -1, 0, 1, -3, -4, -5. It's got the equal to bar. So therefore, this is a filled in circle here. It's less than, so it's going to the left. So therefore, for my notation, because this is all the negative infinity, I have parentheses, negative infinity, comma. This is where it gets different. Because it's equal to, because it's a filled in circle, I have -2, and then I have a bracket. Because it's got the equal to bar, it's a bracket here, not a parentheses. Okay, next example. Moving to number 7. Okay. This, the number that's understood to be right here is a 1. I've got to remember to distribute the -1 throughout here. So I'm going to have 3 minus 2x plus 7 is less than or not less, yes, less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. Combine my like terms when I can. So I have 10 minus 2x is less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. At this point, I want to get the variables on one side, the constants on the other. So I'm going to add 6x to both sides. Make sure I line them up correctly. And then I'm going to move the 10. So I'm moving the 6x over here, the 10 over here. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. When I do that, this zeroes out, this zeroes out, and I end up with 4x is less than or equal to 24. Divide by 4, divide by 4, and I have x is less than or equal to 6. So I have 6 in the middle. It's equal to, so therefore it's a filled in dot. I have 5, 4, 3. Nope, wrong direction, Kimberly. 5, 4, 3, 7, 8, 9. Because it's when they're all positives. It's less than, so we go in this direction. These are all everything to negative infinity. So I have open parentheses, negative infinity, comma. 6 is where it stops. It's equal to, so therefore we have another bracket here. All right, last example. Number 10. First things first, I got to do any distribution that needs to be done. That's a negative. That's got to be distributed to everything inside. So I have a -3x minus 3 minus 2x is greater than negative 4x plus 8 minus 2. Combine my like terms on both sides. Simplify each side, so I end up with a negative 5x minus 3 is greater than negative 4x plus 6. Now I get the variables on one side, the constants on the other. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides, and I'm going to add 3 to both sides. The x is 0 out, the 3 is 0 out. So I'm now left with x is greater than 9. 9 is in the middle, and it goes 10, 11, 12, 8, 7, 6. I need to make sure that I make the number lines correctly on the other side. Okay, so we have x, it's no equal to bar, so it's just an open circle. It's greater than, so I shade to the right. So therefore it's 9 where it starts. Since it's open circle, it's a parentheses, comma, it's going to the positive infinity, so we just write infinity, and we have the parentheses. You will finish the notes. Let me check to make sure that I did the number lines correctly over here. There was positive. Yep. Here I didn't fill in these. You need to make sure that this is filled in. So this is negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. And you will finish the notes and complete the classwork homework and make sure that you check with the answer keys. Have a great day.